Every country has its moment. It's time to shine.
When the universe conspires, planets align.
Scotland invites you, our stage is set.
For one brilliant year we'll never forget.
A homecoming to celebrate all that we are. Countless events, parties near and far.
We welcome the world to come and to share, so you too can say, yes, I was there.
Explore the length and breadth of the new Aquatic Centre. Part of the world-class facilities at Aberdeen Sports Village were open to everyone. Whether you're diving, competing or learning to swim. Whatever your ability, the Aquatic Centre is the place for you. The Aberdeen Sports Village Aquatic Centre. Opening Monday the 5th of May 2014.
Good afternoon, I'm Alan Anderson welcoming you to Aberdeen Sports Village in the northeast of Scotland for coverage of the final day of the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships, brought to you live and exclusive by Scottish Swimming. So let's have a look at what's coming up today. We've already had a match up for 5th, 6th place between New Zealand and Wales, and it was New Zealand who came out on top of that, although it was a well fought encounter. So they will pick up 5th place, Wales picking up 6th place. But for Scotland, two enormous games coming up, probably the biggest games in Scottish water polo. At 12:30, the men's bronze medal match between South Africa and Scotland. And then at 2 o'clock, a similar one, a bronze medal match, South Africa against Scotland in the women's competition. Following on to that, we have the two finals with the 4 outstanding teams from this tournament. At 3:30, the women's final between Canada and England, and then the final match of the tournament starting at 5 o'clock between England and Malta. And all 4 of these matches should be very, very exciting encounters for the crowd here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. We've had good attendance all this week. I'd like to introduce you to my co-commentator for the match today, Ian McCallum, ex-Great Britain water polo internationalist. Good afternoon, Ian.
Afternoon. This is an exciting afternoon if you're a water polo fan in Scotland. It's a game we've been waiting for. The clash in the round-robin stages was one of the games of the tournament so far, and I think Scotland are really fired up for this one. We're expecting another close encounter, and let's just see if Scotland can come out on top this time against what is a very strong South African team.
Now a big part of these championships and the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships is you, the audience, and the part you can play at home. So whether you prefer to Twitter, Instagram or Facebook, you can get the buzz and let us know your thoughts on these championships and the coverage. Visit swimbuzz.co.uk and use the hashtag CWPC2014 for all the social media action this weekend. We will read out the rest of your tweets throughout the day. We're now going to have the national anthems. First up, the national anthem for South Africa, which was a rousing rendition here 2 nights ago. here in the Aberdeen Sports Village, and the pipes played by David Armstrong. We now go to the presentation of the players. The South African team be presented first. Our captain Matthew Kemp, Rabi number 2 big outside shooter, and Jonathan Hawke. Nardius Badenhorst, centre back. Nicholas Schooling, their number 5, and Richard Downs, a big outside shooter as well. Nicholas Hawke, brother of Jonathan, and Jared Wingate Pearce, and Dean White, centre forward. Chris Baker, another strong player. Nicholas Molyneux, 10 goals for him this week. Simon Purchase and Franco Conversano, their second goalkeeper. And now the Scottish team, their captain is Nielsen Rutherford. And then Boyan Dunveski, the keeper, what a tournament he's had. James Scobie, Ed Grundy, Keith Anderson, workhorse of this team. Darren Campbell, ready to step out there. And then Davy Baxter, Fraser Rutherford, centre forward for Scotland, and Chris Campbell. Mark Speed, who's popped up with a couple of potent goals this week. Andrew Woodall. Alistair Campbell, 11 goals for him this week. And Simon Metcalf, the second keeper for Scotland. What a team this is. The 2 referees for this match, Mr. Massimo Angeleri from Malta and Mike Dukes from England. And the 2 delegates, pleased to have Mr. David Bathurst from England and Mr. Gus Pinker, the FINA delegate, member of the FINA Technical Water Polo Committee. And we're delighted to have them here in Aberdeen for the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014. So Ian, an awful lot to talk about before this match, not least the game that we had the other night here in the Aberdeen Sports Village that went right down to the wire.
Yeah, for me it was the game of the tournament so far. It was 6-all, tied up in the last period. South Africa stretched it out to 9-6, and you thought that it was all over for Scotland. But they clawed their way back into that game. They scored to make it 9-7. They scored to make it 9-8.
So it was the round robin stages just to find the places, and the big game for Scotland was actually the one against New Zealand when they topped them by 9 goals to 7. And as you will see from the table, that allowed Scotland to finish in 4th place in the round robin event and pick this match against South Africa. South Africans' route to this game today, they lost their opening encounter to England, and then a hard-fought draw with New Zealand before, as Ian, you mentioned, defeating Scotland by 9 goals to 8. They then defeated Malta, were defeated by Malta by 1, in which was a pretty fiery encounter, if you recall, from that game.
Yeah, it was another. There's been some big physical games in this tournament. I would say physical rather than violent, which is what we want to see. We don't mind seeing physical stuff, but the tournament's been played in a really good sporting nature. Both teams today seem absolutely up for it. You saw them both belting out their respective national anthems. I think we're going to see an excellent encounter today. I'm really looking forward to this.
And the start of the game here the other night saw South Africa go into a very quick 2-goal lead, almost with their first 2 attacks, and the Scottish crowd here feared the worst. So what does Scotland need to do? Asking the obvious question at the start of this match.
Yeah, I think Scotland were slightly nervous, and they really need from the very start to be active. The South Africans, as you can see, they're a big physical outfit. Scotland are more mobile and slightly streetwise, and I think if they keep on their bike, if they keep moving, they're going to make it difficult for South Africa. We need another massive performance by Boyan Dunveski in the Scotland goal. He's been a standout player all week. Hope this is going to be another game for him.
And who in the South African team would we be looking out for? What are perhaps some of their main shooters?
Yeah, we've got Nicholas Molyneux, plays 11. He's a terrific player. Chris Baker, Dean White. They've got some smashing players. I mean, I think it's going to be a great game.
Indeed, Ian. And a packed venue here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. We've had some good crowds here all week, and it's great to see water polo being so well supported in Scotland and in Aberdeen. I now have the underwater camera giving you some view of the action. Nothing going on here at the moment, but I'm sure we'll see something, Ian.
Yeah, it's going to be a treat for those people watching online, watching that underwater camera and seeing the skullduggery and the dark arts that goes on in water polo.
So we're almost ready to get things underway for Scotland. Number 12, Alistair Campbell, ready for the swim off, and up against him, I think it's the South African number 11, Nicholas Molyneux. Campbell against Molyneux in the swim off. And it is Campbell who picks the opening swim off for Scotland. Scotland will be delighted with that. Gives them a chance to get their hands on the ball, control the South Africans. You can see, as we saw a few nights ago, a hard press, but here's the swim of Keith Anderson, and he looks for the far post to James Scobie, and Scotland on their opening attack. The trademark move from Anderson, firing the ball all the way across to James Scobie, and Scotland one up with the opening attack.
How often have we seen that? But see, Anderson uses all his experience. He just holds it up until Scobie's ready. And although he's clattered on the head for his trouble by Nicholas Hawke, Scobie opens the scoring. That's good for Scobie. He needs his confidence today.
He is a confidence player. He started well against Wales with 2 goals from his first 2 shots. He also does a very good job controlling defence. And we see him there, marshalling the troops. Alistair Campbell coming back. Scotland very wary of the South African centre forward, and you'll see them all crashing on it now. And the shot here from Chris Baker. On the escape, not needing to put a hand close to that. He's rubbing the ball, getting his hands on it, feeling the grip and looking for a receiver.
Yeah, you can see this outside shot coming in for Chris Baker. Didn't trouble the Scotland goalie one little bit.
So we see this press from South Africa. The Scottish players were commenting on the press they received against them the other night.
Yeah, they're a very strong and physical team, and I think if you allow yourself to be pressed, so if you stay static, you're in a world of trouble. I think you've got to keep moving, and Scotland know that, and the coaching staff know that. Rhys Tamlin's been working on that, and I think we're going to see Scotland be very mobile today.
So number 6, Richard Downs, finds an outlet and a possible shot, and that rips off the post from Nicholas Molyneux. Scotland survived. And Vesky not really knowing much about that. Keith Anderson, the receiver. Scotland down the wing to Scobie. Press from Molyneux. Ed Grundy. James Hawke giving him attention, and Neilson Rutherford, the captain. Scotland electing to start with Mark Speed, number 10, centre forward, as the 32nd rocks down. And that perhaps not the wisest dump there from Rutherford as he's exposed himself. Chris Downs given the chance to go in on a 1-on-none. And Dunveski, what a save, stands up big, and he's pleased with that one, Ian.
Duvneski, that's what we wanted to see. We really wanted to see him have another big game, and the first time he's called upon for Scotland, he's not found wanting. And he's up for the game, he's fist pumping there, he's ready to play today.
His coach, the Scotland assistant, Raymond Valvona, a goalkeeper in his day, as we see this replay there.
The height out the water, that's fantastic athleticism.
It's now Scobie and Alistair Campbell in centre forward. The clock ticks down, he'll be looking for the shot, but elects to dump the ball and negate any counter from South Africa. So a good controlled start from Scotland.
Yeah, they'll be extremely pleased. They went 2-0 down in the game, the first game against South Africa. So this is a good reversal. Instead of 2-0, they're 1-0 to the good.
South Africa a little bit slower in getting up. Chris Baker, they do get it into centre forward. Nicholas Hawke lying on his back, and that shot not troubling the Scottish goal. Again, South Africa pressing hard, and Vesky has to wait 10 seconds to find the receiver. Mark Speed has tended to start in these matches. We see some underwater shots. What goes on the centre forward? No real action going on there at the moment. And good press there from Chris Baker, number 10. And supporting work from Nicholas Hawke, who now comes away with the ball, and this is dangerous. South Africa on the counter-attack. They have players behind, but they elect to keep going forward. Team Baker, Chris Baker, sorry, off the bar and off the back of Dunveski. and Nicholas Hawk.
Davneski's pumped up for this one. Look how high he is out the water here. And he gets a lot on that, and a bit of good fortune that I think he earned as the ball came back off the back of his head.
And the ball goes in to Badenhorst. And he manages to get it out, and there's a possible shot off the outside. But there was attention from behind. Davneski got a fingertip to it. And South Africa will have the ball on the 2 metre line. Keith Anderson lost his hat, Ian. Seen that a few times this week.
Yeah, Keith, I'm sure he's got some slick hair products and the hat just won't stay on. Either that, he's looking to show that mane off.
Under 4 minutes off this opening period. Richard Downs, number 6, heavily strapped on his back and shoulders. It's been a demanding week for all these athletes, very few of them professional players. And the shot, and Davneski gets his right hand to it and shakes his head as if to say, you're not getting past me with that.
Must be such extra confidence when your goalkeeper's like that.
And Scobie finds Anderson on that drive again, but he's not got a receiver on the far side. And in fact, South Africa come back well to dispossess. Nicholas Molyneux, number 11, picking the ball. I would think Coach Tamlin may be looking for a timeout soon. It's been a ferocious opening 5 minutes in this game. Mark Speed just getting a finger to that, and that helps the Scottish defence. South Africa still looking to set things. Chris Baker, number 10. The ball goes in to Badenhorst, and that wins an exclusion. Rutherford out for 20. A number of majors for Rutherford this week, but that's the dangers when you are playing centre back. Tricks of the trade. And there's this opportunity here for South Africa, and a firm block. James Scobie. And as predicted, it is a timeout called by Rhys Tamlin, the Scottish coach.
Yeah, excellent start by Scotland. They've been relatively comfortable, obviously helped out by Davneski, the goal. He's made some tremendous saves again. I think we might see the entry into the fray of Big Fraser Rutherford, number 8. Bit of a talisman for the Scottish team. Possibly not as mobile as he was in his day, but he certainly has a skill set to put the ball in the back of the net, Alan.
9 goals for Rutherford this week, and a few very important ones. The goals against New Zealand the other night.
Yeah, who can forget the back hook that he scored under a lot of pressure, a guy on his back, and he just turned and flipped the ball at the far corner.
So Scotland will restart after the timeout, the 1 minute timeout. Each team allowed a timeout per period. Ed Grundy waits behind, and he will play the point position for Scotland. As we see Rutherford, number 8, heading to the left-hand corner of your screen, just out of picture now, but we'll expect him to roll in very soon. Chris Campbell, number 9, finding his twin brother Darren. But heavy press from South Africa, too heavy in fact. And it is Nicholas Schooling, number 5, excluded for 20 seconds. And Ed Grundy here has the chance. A good decision there from Grundy. I think in the past we might have seen him take the risky shot there. But Scotland electing to show some control. And the 2 metre rule, we've seen that called a number of times this week, Ian, perhaps more than usual.
Yeah, I think the players are just struggling to find out where the 2 metre is. It's quite bright in there, the sun's in their eyes, and I think, yeah, it's a mistake we wouldn't expect.
And South Africa have gone on the counter, and it's Nicholas Molyneux, one of their top scorers, and he fires it in, power getting the better of Davneski. And South Africa are right back in the match with 1:51 of this opening period remaining.
Yeah, Davneski, he's kept everything out so far, but even he couldn't keep that one out. I don't think you can blame the goalkeeper. He's got up so high and the ball's come off his rib cage and just sneaked in at the near post. We've got a game on, it's 1-1.
There's a strong shot there from Molyneux, his 11th goal of the competition. And Chris Campbell, number 9. And now you see it rolling in at the bottom of your screen. Fraser Rutherford and Badenhorst, they had a great tussle the other night, and it's continuing, but the ball goes across, and Anderson with his pass wins the penalty. Alistair Campbell fouled by number 2, Lud Rabbie.
Such a clever player, Alistair Campbell. He saw that Fraser Rutherford was tied up and wasn't in his usual spot at the back post. So Alistair took that on himself and got in there, got in front of his defender and really forced the defender to grab his arm without the ball, resulting in a penalty. He likes to bounce it to the goalie's left-hand side to our right as we look at it.
Campbell against Franco Conversano, and he misses it. That was a lovely save from Conversano, but perhaps not the best penalty. And with that, South African coach Paul Martin elects to take a timeout. 1:26 of the opening period remaining. The opportunity for Scotland to take the lead goes a-begging. And South Africa now will have a slight advantage with the ball. 1:26 remaining.
We've seen quite a few penalty saves in this tournament, and you can see Alistair Campbell, he's in good position. That's an excellent save by the goalkeeper. He maybe could have fired it closer to the post, but it's maybe a bit central, which gave the goalie the opportunity. But got to give credit to Franco Conversano from Team Walrus in South Africa. Excellent save.
So you see the South African coach there, Paul Martin, young coach of this South African side. His more experienced assistant, Brad Rowe, electing to leave him do the talking. Not always the case with a coach and assistant coach. And South Africa come away. Jonathan Hawke, number 3. They get the ball in to Badenhorst, but that's a weak shot out the centre forward. Rutherford doing well to put pressure, and Scotland are off. And number 6, Chris Campbell, is the receiver. So Rutherford again on this bottom corner, trying to work his way in, and he does now. Lud Rabbie on his back, that's where we're looking for the action. On the left-hand side of your screen, the clock ticking down, only 6 remaining of the 30, but they put it in. Oh, and Rutherford nearly able to keep a hold of it. But Rabbie and Conversano working well, and now South Africa have the player advantage inside the last 40 seconds. They elect not to take it. You don't want to risk anything. Electing not to leave Rutherford up. So we've got 5 against 5 in attack. South Africa. And some good play there from Chris Campbell on number South Africa with a shot. No, they elect to go into Badenhorst, and Badenhorst does well to win the exclusion, and that's a worry for Scotland as it's Rutherford's second exclusion off the match in the opening period, and he'll be changed for Ed Grundy. So South Africa have the ball and the extra man, but the clock ticks down at the end of this period. The big shot from the outside, and well blocked by James Scobie with under 4 seconds remaining. Scotland will be happy just to play this out. Vesky fires it to the South African goal, and here we see the shot.
Yeah, I think you're doing the goalie an injustice. It looks like Duvnesky's got a big hand on that again. I don't know how many saves that is in the first period, but it's probably 6 or 7. He's had another outstanding game.
So at the end of the first period, a very close encounter. South Africa won, Scotland won.
Welcome to Scottish Swimming's official YouTube channel. No matter if you compete or participate in swimming, disability swimming, diving, synchro, open water, water polo or masters, if you're a teacher, tutor or coach, or simply interested in what we're up to, this is the place to find it, from wherever you are in the world. On our channel, you can watch our key events live or on demand, or simply the highlights afterwards. All for free 24/7. If you subscribe, you'll not miss any new videos, so what are you waiting for?
The best of Scotland is right on your doorstep this year. Hundreds of events are taking place across Scotland to celebrate Homecoming 2014. So you won't have to travel far to find them. Homecoming 2014, A year of brilliant moments right on your doorstep.
So there you see some of the major events for Homecoming Scotland 2014. The two big sporting ones, the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow and then the Ryder Cup at Gleneagles. And we're pleased with Homecoming Scotland providing support to this Commonwealth Water Polo Championships here at the Aberdeen Sports Village. We're just about to start the second period of this bronze medal match. Scotland against South Africa. Ian, first period scores?
Yeah. 1-0 in the first period, exactly what we're expecting. It's been a tight, intense encounter. I think a concern for Scotland, though, is their captain, Nielsen Rutherford, is already on 2 exclusions. They need to be very careful with him.
So the swim off there, and it is Alistair Campbell that picks it for the second time. Good swimming by Campbell. Meeting Nicholas Molyneux. And Scotland with the opening possession. And we see the work here on the left-hand side of your screen. Centre forward, centre back. Interesting goings on between Badenhorst, number 4, and Rutherford. Good defence from South Africa, and a good dump there from Andrew Woodall, number 11. Should prevent any counter-attack from the South Africans, and it is indeed covered. It's number 3 here, Jonathan Hawke, for Chris Baker. Lud Raby, a couple of big goals from him the other night, but they get the ball into Badenhorst. Not Badenhorst. And centre forward there it is, Molyneux, number 11. Marked by Andrew Woodall. That's a shot from the outside, Chris Baker. And Yeski flicks his left hand up to turn it over. South Africa with the ball in 2 metres.
Yeah, South Africa can shoot the ball, but Daneski's been up to everything. You can see great position, height out of the water. He makes that look easy.
And back in play. South Africa have turned the ball over. Good Scottish defence, so Scotland going to counter-attack. Veski looks for a receiver, finds Woodall. Or does he? Looks to find Woodall, but that was a little bit too aggressive. And now there's a big recovery all the way back for Scotland. South Africa go forward through number 2, Lud Raby. He's got a shot on him. And he elects to go to centre, but the ball too close to James Scobie, who easily picked that up. Fraser Rutherford heads for the corner for an in-play substitution. Mark Speed it is, the second centre, who will come in. So Scotland will probably play this one out without a centre. Clock down to 13, but there's an opportunity here for Woodall, and he has a shot. But the bounce a little bit too high. And so a few up and downs in this period, Ian.
Yeah, both teams have yet to settle in this second period. You can see it means a lot to both teams. Let's just hope Scotland begin to settle.
That's a lovely shot. Lud Raby, number 2 for South Africa. We mentioned it a couple of times earlier in this period. He scored some big goals from there, and he does so again.
Yeah, he lines this one up. Maybe Scotland are just slightly too deep. And he launches that ball right in the postage stamp, right in that top right-hand corner.
You see Andrew Woodall there blocking, but Raby's moved a little bit further across, and Woodall's block not quite in the right place. So South Africa, 2 goals for them, unanswered, and they now lead 2-1 in this bronze medal match. The Aberdeen Sports Village Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014. And number 6, Darren Campbell. Anderson goes on his drive, but the ball was too slow, and he picks up Nicholas Schooling. And trying to go round him. The ball's turned over, so not much opportunity here. And Nicholas Molyneux, number 11, comes away with the ball on this right-hand side. South Africa finding easy ball out from their keeper, Franco Conversano, and it's giving them a chance to get things set up. 30-second clock, Ed Grundy blocking. I think that shot was a little bit too slow. No, the referee's given it. thought that wasn't a first time shot, but the referee is elected to give it. The Scottish team still trying to defend it.
They can justifiably feel hard done by. If you're going to shoot straight from a foul, it needs to be outside 5 metres. It needs to be one fluid movement. It looked very much to me like he just moved the ball from inside to outside 5 metres before he launched that ball. Scotland can consider himself unlucky.
Anyway, the referees have said it was acceptable, and so South Africa now have the lead by 3-1. And again, this very strong press from the heavy South African side. Up there from number 7, Nicholas Hawke, and that's a slack ball into Mark Speed from James Scobie, and the 2 number 10s tangling. Chris Baker coming up with the goods, and South Africa looking to have some momentum here. Nicholas Schooling, number 5, goes left to right, and there's a chance for the shot, and again the other side, but Molyneux just enough pressure to make him take his shot past the post. And South Africa with the momentum at the moment. Donveski can't find the receiver, the clock ticks down. He finds number 7, Davy Baxter. He finds Darren Campbell, but still Scotland struggling to get a set play here. South Africa pressing very, very high, and the clock ticking down. So they go to Rutherford. He's working hard, but he's not getting much reward. Although he does there, he gets the exclusion. Number 8 for South Africa, Jared Wingate-Pearce, holding Rutherford, and referee Mike Dukes from England deciding that was worthy of an exclusion. And with that, Scotland call a timeout.
Yeah, excellent work from Rutherford there. He really fought for that ball, and he forced the defender to come over the top, and it was a justifiable exclusion. It's got a bit scrappy for Scotland. It's 3-1 at the moment. This is a big man up.
I think very important to get some composure here. They've brought Ed Grundy in and Fraser Rutherford. Taken out Davy Baxter and Mark Speed. So I'm thinking they're probably... Ian, what do you think? What's your thoughts on the game here?
I think we'll see Big Fraser on the post, and I wouldn't be surprised if the ball goes into him on the post.
So I think the move, 2 potential moves here. We saw New Zealand use it well against Wales on the right-hand side. The ball to that right post to number 8, Fraser Rutherford. Although we do have Andrew Woodall out on the top here, and he's scored a couple of very good goals on the man up from that position. Woodall with the ball now. Scobie, Woodall. Scotland look to be bringing it around this way, but Grundy, he decides he's going to step up to the plate, and he fires a big shot in from 6 metres.
Grundy's got that in his locker. He's another confidence-based player, and you can see he had no second thoughts. He just stepped into that one, buried it in the top corner. Brings Scotland back to 1 goal behind, 3-2.
He did well with the pressure coming from both sides there. Richard Downs, number 6, making the lunge at Grundy. And it's Grundy now who's going to take the centre back. Rutherford being rested for the moment. So, and he forces Molyneux out to the side. And now they've got Rutherford in centre back. He'll need to be careful there, and Scotland will need to defend it. And Lud Rabi showing his arm again.
He's got a wicked outside shot, Rabi. Not accurate that time, thank goodness, and here comes Scotland away with the ball, looking to equalise.
Alistair Campbell, number 12. A bit fortunate to retain possession there. Chris Baker, number 10. As we see the shot from under the water. You may not have seen that, but number 5, it was over the water. Nicholas Schooling pushing down on Fraser Rutherford with both hands in the centre forward. So Scotland have the extra man opportunity again. Rutherford and Grundy is a potential shooter, but South Africa setting up to counter-attack off it. Alistair Campbell goes near post. I think it was the right idea, but perhaps not the right execution. The space opened up there, Ian.
Yeah, it's been a good series of play by Scotland. They've really come back into this game. The ball was worked to Campbell. You can see there's a good block on there. He just can't get the power in that. Maybe technique was a bit poor there.
Badenhorst to number 10, Chris Baker. South Africa doing the work. The clock ticks down, 5 left on the short clock. But we have an exclusion against Scotland, number 3, Ed Grundy. Pushing down on the South African 7, Nicholas Hawke, and South Africa have the advantage. They go near post, but the execution not quite good enough. The ball to Richard Downs, and we're back even with 1:50 off this second period remaining. See it again.
They play it into the post here. Does the goalie get anything on that? No, he doesn't. It hits the post.
That's good work back from Alistair Campbell. Back with play again. James Scobie on that far side. Keith Anderson, quiet period for him. The clock ticks down. You see the 30-second clock. And Rutherford, you look for the foul. But not getting anything. And the possession runs out. So Scotland working to get back.
It's an incredibly physical game already. You can see that after Rutherford's lost the ball, they're holding him under the water, and the referees are letting that go.
It's Badenhorst, number 4. Vesky happy to get that, but he wanted to bring it down. Even with a good save, he wants it to be better. And South Africa have the ball on the 2-metre line.
He's right at the top of his game. I mean, that's not easy, it's close to him. But he's got a big shoulder on that. Another terrific save to add to his long list so far.
South Africa with the ball on 2 metres. Referee Mike Duke saying it's from the far side. And Nicholas Molyneux. It's the ball out top. Richard Downs. Chris Baker. Back to Baker. They get the ball into Badenhorst, but Scotland are back. A number of them are back. That number 6, Darren Campbell, a little bit too heavy when he does come back, and he's excluded. So 3-2 South Africa, and that's 4. The goal from number 4, Nardus Badenhorst.
Scotland didn't have a chance to get their defence set there. They worked the ball out, looks as though he's going to shoot, and then just pops it onto the second post. And even Duvnesky's got no chance with that.
51 seconds off the first half remaining. South Africa 2 goals to the good, leading this period by 3 goals to 1. And Scotland go on the attack through Anderson, driving down that right wing. Goes to Mark Speed. Speed thinking he was outside 5, but he's not, and Scotland are in trouble now. As South Africa have the extra men inside the last 30. Rutherford electing to stay up, and Anderson's forced to do the chase. Big opportunity for South Africa. Molyneux, Nicholas Hawke, but Dunveski comes to the rescue, and now there's a chance. Dunveski all the way to Anderson. That's a fabulous ball, and Anderson goes in. He takes it round, and Keith Anderson gets a reward there, and a fabulous pass from Bojan Dunveski in the Scotland goal, and Scotland are right back in it.
This is quality Anderson. He's under a lot of pressure here. He doesn't buckle, takes his time, drills it at the far corner. Scotland are only a goal behind. Duvnesky just can't save the ball. He can also launch it on a sixpence up the pool there.
South Africa looking for the shot. That was a nice shot there from Nicholas Molyneux, but Dunveski bats it down. And what a game we have here at the Aberdeen Sports Village for the bronze medal in the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships. At half-time, Scotland trailing by 4 goals to 3 to South Africa, but an enthralling second period there.
The best of Scotland is right on your doorstep this year. Hundreds of events are taking place across Scotland to celebrate Homecoming 2014. So you won't have to travel far to find them. Homecoming 2014, a year of brilliant moments right on your doorstep.
to make 2014 even better.
It'll be a great night just to catch up, relax, and, you know, as a swimmer actually get to dress up and look normal.
And then a chance to see lots of people from all around different parts of swimming and have a good evening with them.
The awards ceremony was fantastic, with the most people turned out ever, so years to come it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
And their Homecoming Scotland 2014, lots of big events in Scotland this year, particularly the sporting ones, the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow and the Ryder Cup at Gleneagles, and hopefully at the Scottish Swimming Awards in Glasgow in September. There'll be plenty to celebrate, not least a bronze medal for Scotland if they can turn this round in this match against South Africa. Ian, I think we're going to see the goals now from that second period. Maybe just talk us through them.
It was another excellent period of water polo. You can see this was Grundy's goal from the outside. He moves into the middle of the goals. That's a great finish. You can see he's got two players attacking him. Keeps his composure. Great technique for all the young players watching. Now we're seeing South Africa's goal here. Nicholas Hawke passing it into the post there. And to be fair, that's also a good finish. So he's just drawing the goalie, drawing the blocker, dishing it, and there it is in the back of the net.
So for all you out there,
and here's old Keith Anderson, the old warhorse, and a long outlet pass by Davneski, and Anderson makes no mistake to bring Scotland back to within one goal. You see he's just moving across to make it difficult for the goalkeeper. Could be his last Commonwealth tournament, and he could be going out with a bang. That was a fabulous goal by Keith Anderson.
So for all you watching this live on YouTube, we have Twitter feeds, hashtag CWPC2014. Keep your tweets and comments coming in. A few that we've had this morning. Some good luck wishes from St Andrews University, Saints WP. Also some comments there from the Aquatic Hub, who are keeping things well up to date. Also some notes earlier in the day. Dave Partington from Liverpool at Birkenhead and Johnny Sissons from down in Bristol, keeping things alive. So keep them coming in and we will read them out as they come along. So we're getting messages from all over the world, and if there is anyone over there in South Africa who's got anything they'd like read out, messages of encouragement, please tweet them, hashtag CWPC. I have some messages supporting Scotland from over in Jakarta. Also a lot of pre-tweets here about the games later on this afternoon. The final matches, women's game, England against Canada, and then the final match of the tournament, Malta against England. So still plenty of water polo to play here at the Aberdeen Sports Village Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014. 15 seconds remaining off the 5-minute break. The teams have changed ends. Scotland will attack from left to right in blue hats as we see the underwater shot. Expecting to see some action, particularly around the centre forward area from this underwater camera. South Africa goalkeeper Franco Conversano not been the busier of the two. It has been Domveski in the Scotland goal who's kept things alive for Scotland.
Yeah, we expected a tight encounter and we certainly haven't been disappointed. It's been end-to-end stuff. Scotland looked as though they were maybe just slipping out of it slightly, but have come back strong, and that late goal in the second period by Keith Anderson really keeps it on the boil.
So swim-off's on, and number 12 for Scotland, Alistair Campbell. Can he make it 3 in a row? No, it is South Africa. Nicholas Molyneux who picks the ball. And South Africa have the opening attack in the second half. Chris Baker Molyneux. And they get the ball into Badenhorst. But Alistair Campbell a little bit slow to come back, and Mark Speed is excluded for 20 seconds. He takes a knock for his troubles as well. So South Africa with the player advantage. Shooters on the outside, Molyneux and Jared Pearce. They tried to go inside to Hawk, who popped off that left post, but he doesn't really get a big enough shot away.
Another stop by the Scottish goalkeeper. He's quite close in. The ball's blocked, but Nevsky's shown some fantastic reactions there.
And at the other end, Anderson driving for goal, and he wins the exclusion. That's been a major weapon for Scotland today and this week. Number 8 for South Africa, Jared Wingate Pearce. He's out for 20. Scotland have the extra man, Scobie. Anderson on this right wing to Scobie. Scotland moving it round, going all the way across to Alistair Campbell. Kind of negated the move a little bit, but they got the post, and Rutherford with the backhand. Not the sort of pass or shot you would expect, but Scotland are right back in this match.
Rutherford's always a danger on the post. He's got such good hands for a big guy, and you can see he's got a guy, defenders all over him. It doesn't make any difference. Rutherford tucks the ball behind the goalkeeper.
10 goals.
Sano's picking that out the back of the net.
10 goals for Fraser Rutherford this week. A reasonable week's work, but it will all be for very little if Scotland don't secure the bronze here. But it's South Africa on the attack, and they do well to get it into centre forward. And Rutherford holds his place very well. That was a potentially dangerous situation for Scotland. If Rutherford had been excluded, he'd have been out the game, but he defends very well on Richard Downs.
He's a clever player, Nielsen Rutherford, and he used all his experience there.
And Vesky finds Anderson again. Tireless worker down this right wing. And referee Mike Dukes giving the turnover foul against Fraser Rutherford in centre forward.
It's not the first time Mike Dukes has penalised Fraser Rutherford. Won't be the last probably either.
No. We'll watch out for how that develops in this period. Referees and players well known to each other, playing in the British Water Polo League, but it's South Africa here looking for a foul for a shot, and rightly not getting one. So Dinveski saves. Scotland looking for an in-play sub. Keith Anderson's done his work and rightly takes a rest. Andrew Woodall will come in, but Scotland will be attacking with 5 players. So probably just look to play it out or try for a shot to get possession back. The clock ticking down on the possession. Andrew Woodall, yeah, he will be dumping it. That's about the best I think Scotland could do in that situation. Prevents the counter-attack. Hayden Rutherford can get over and pick up Lud Raby, who has the ball. He finds an outlet, and Richard Downs. Ball goes to the wing. Nicholas Molyneux, main scorers for SA, and he drives in. And good blocking. Scobie gets a finger, Dinveski gets a finger. South Africa get the ball in 2 metres. Scores tied 4 apiece. 4:45 off this third period. The referee's taking the ball out. And one of our players in there ties his cap. It is Badenhorst, number 4, as we see Dinveski turning it over. Scotland protecting the centre forward. I mean, South Africa the opportunity to play the ball on the top positions, and now South Africa drive. But they drive a little bit too aggressively for Mike Duke's liking. And Scotland have the turnover foul.
Yeah, good disciplined defence by Scotland. They're playing this low drop to prevent the ball getting into the South African centre forward, and here they are back in the attack. That ball's all the way to Andrew Woodall.
Woodall taking up Anderson's normal position down on this right wing. 10 seconds of the attack remaining. Grundy expect to look for the shot, or Scobie. Scobie does, but that's a weak shot. And Scotland may be in a bit of trouble here if they don't get back quickly. South Africa with a really good opportunity for the extra man. Nelson Rutherford trailing there. South Africa, if they spot it, Richard Downs with the ball, but they've been slow. But oh, that shot again from Lud Rabi. He wraps the post. He's got a rifle off a shot. But the rebound picked up by Alistair Campbell. And Dunveski looks for an outlet. And he finds Alistair Campbell, who's closely marked by Chris Baker. Seen an awful lot of him in this game. And Baker does well to steal the ball. Not sure quite what was going on between these two there.
Yeah, there can be times when the referee's really making the players work for fouls. I mean, that looked like a foul for quite a while there, but Campbell just denied.
And again, very little given on the foul, but there's a chance here for the outside shot. And Dunveski basically pumping at that one with his right arm. So hard it goes out the pool on the right-hand side. A shot from Richard Downs. Plays for Team Walrus in South Africa. Downs again, heavily strapped on his back. Jonathan Hawke, Downs. He fires one, and the woodwork is saving Scotland on a number of occasions. Rhys Tamlin, the coach, perhaps recognising some tiredness in his troops, and he elects to call a timeout with 2:46 of this remaining.
Yeah, here's the shot. Whoa, that's so close inside of the post. It goes along the line, and I sometimes think that as the goalkeepers have play better and better and save more, the shooters are forced to try and really find the corners, and that's not working for South Africa at the moment. They've maybe taken 4 or 5 shots in this period already, and none have been successful. We've got a cracker here, Alan, 4-all.
Very tense, but good action at both ends. The second period was a little bit tentative, but this one has come alive with the shooting and the counter-attacking.
From Stellenbosch University. Big lad and can really launch the ball when he gets the opportunity.
There's James Scobie, number 2, one of the 6 Portobello players in this team. His teammates, clubmates, Ed Grundy there. But I think number 10, Chris Baker, will be taking 20 seconds for that round the neck tackle on Andrew Woodall, and Scotland have the player advantage. It's a big opportunity. South Africa pressing rather too heavily for Mike Duke's liking. Lud Rabi, so Scotland now with a 2-man advantage, and Grundy goes back. Scotland will play a 5-on-4 situation. They've not done brilliantly at this all week, but they do this time as number 6, Darren Campbell, takes the responsibility and finds the gap.
Yeah, they were leaving Darren Campbell. He's one of the youngest players in the Scottish team. Maybe not got the experience, but he's got the heart. Look at this. There's not a lot to aim at there, and he just slides the ball underneath Conversano, and Scotland have taken the lead 5-4, well into the third period.
As we're back with play, just over 2 minutes remaining. Nicholas Hawke, Chris Baker, and Nicholas Molyneux out on the top. There's plenty threat off this arc. As we see the threat there, Nicholas Molyneux. That's a fantastic shot. This time South Africa finding the right side of the post and beat Dunveski.
Scotland went in front and was beginning to ask questions of South Africa. And Molyneux showing that he's got the answer. Excellent outside shot to tie the game up at 5.
Ed Grundy taking the pressure from Simon Purchase. And Darren Campbell, the goal scorer. And we see Anderson driving in, doing a power of work. And he wins an exclusion, although I think he would rather have had the goal. No, it was exclusion on the other side. Apologies for that. It was number 9, Dean White, excluded. I still stand by my comments. I think Scotland would have preferred the goal, but they have the extra man here. South Africa making them work here. Scotland very far out, but keeping South Africa on edge. Chris Campbell goes for the post, and it leaves the option to the far for Davy Baxter. Perhaps not the best man to be having that shot.
I think Davy Baxter.
There's a turnover foul against number 5 for South Africa. Nicholas Schooling fouling Darren Campbell. It's Campbell now number 6 who will start. So 1:10 of the period remaining. Scotland get the ball into Anderson. He picks the ball round and he wins the penalty. That's a phenomenal move from Anderson. Picking it off Nicholas Molyneux, going in front, and the penalty called.
All credit to Keith Anderson. He's maybe one of the senior members of the team, but his work rate is phenomenal. What an example to the younger players. He never stops when he's in there. And here Scotland have the chance to take the lead. It's Ed Grundy versus Franco Conversano.
And Grundy finds the back of the net. No doubting the power he was putting behind that. It was going to go hard no matter what. And with 1:04 remaining.
Yeah, Grundy, there's a lot of pressure now. It's getting to the business end. Grundy can take it. That's a fabulous penalty.
Second goal of the afternoon for Grundy. As we're back with the action inside the last minute of this third period, South Africa attacking. Nicholas Schooling, number 5. Baker, 10. Big shooters everywhere for South Africa. And scramble back. Scotland survive, and they'll be happy if they finish this period 1 up. South Africa need to push again. Van Veske looks for an outlet and he finds Alistair Campbell, who wins the foul. Andrew Woodall coming in the middle, the likely receiver, and he is. Campbell just staying back, not wanting to give anything away at this point. James Scobie looking for the foul, and he gets it. And he puts it in. And big cries for something from Scotland on Chris Campbell, but I think referee Mike Duke's calling it correctly as we're inside the last 3. And South Africa will have the shot, but it doesn't trouble Bojan Donveski in the Scotland goal. Nicholas Hawke there, number 7, with the shot on the buzzer. So what a period we've had. Scotland lead at 3/4 time by 6-5. Ian, what did you make of that?
What a fantastic period of water polo. The pressure's on, you can see both teams are feeling it, but Scotland are just coming up with the goods when it's required. We've got probably one of the biggest periods of water polo that Scotland have played in many a long year coming up. If they hold on for that bronze medal, we'll have some heroes.
We're going to now have a look at a couple of the goals from that third period.
This is Alistair Campbell with the ball in the wing, and you see they really didn't expect it to come into the post. Fraser Rutherford, for a big fella, has got great hands. You can see him side on here, leaping up, coming towards the ball. Great technique, not waiting for the ball to get to him, but actually going towards it. And here we see young Chris Campbell. Yeah, I get that wrong every single time. The Campbell twins are identical. Alan's telling me it's Darren.
Sure, they would not like to be mistaken when goals are scored.
And here we go, the final goal of the period. Ed Grundy rises high, sends the goalie the wrong way, and Scotland have the lead.
They do all to play for the bronze medal. South Africa have been in this position before. In 2006 in Perth at these championships, they picked up 4th place when they lost to New Zealand in the bronze medal match. They were also involved in the 2002 event in Manchester, the first time we've had a Commonwealth Water Polo Championships, when they picked up 7th place.
And Alan, just remind us what will happen if this game ends up in a tie, because it certainly has got a potential to do that. It's been such a tight affair.
So all our games on finals day will be played to a conclusion. So if it is a tie at full time, it's 5 penalties each. Teams go from either end of the pool to take the penalties, and if it's still all square after that, it will be sudden death. So a potential cliffhanger here at the Aberdeen Sports Village Final period in the bronze medal match, Scotland against South Africa. For the swim-off, Alistair Campbell. Campbell wins it. That's a huge swim-off for Scotland as he beats Lud Rabi.
Such an advantage to win the swim-off. I think that's 4 in a row, Alan.
But it is always an advantage, not only getting the first possession, but just settle things down. Again, in the game the other night, South Africa won the swim-off and picked a couple of quick goals in this. But that ball just too high for Fraser Rutherford. Chris Campbell doing the drive. A chance goes a begging for Scotland, but South Africa strong. Nicholas Hawke, number 7, coming down that far side. Passes and drives. The Scottish defence recovers. Richard Downs fires one in. Dunveski, a look of disdain from him, shakes his hand, gets the crowd going. And Alistair Campbell, as he does, playing on this right side of the pool. James Scobie. There'll be some tired bodies in there, but when you're playing for a medal, nothing will matter. Scobie gets it into Rutherford, who right hand, left hand, but he does put the ball under. Nicholas Hawke defending well, and now South Africa have the chance if they can move the ball quickly. Conversano does, he finds a receiver, and Richard Downs, and the men extra on this left hand side, but Scotland get back. But there's a gap in the centre forward. If they can get it into Badenhorst, they do get it in. It's back, and it's a nice piece of play from Badenhorst. So still the shot, and it wraps the crossbar again. Jared Wingate-Pearce. Vesky with a charmed goal, as well as some fantastic saves. And it goes to Campbell again on this right wing. He's been a main receiver from the goalkeeper. And Scobie to Anderson. We'll see Rutherford. But this time, Conversano knows what's going on. Rutherford hoping for something. I think he needs to do more than complain at this point in the game.
I'd like to see him coming back. Now under pressure here, South Africa driving forward.
Richard Downs, number 6, with a big shot, but it's too big a shot. A tired shot. Scotland have the advantage if they can move it quickly. Rutherford goes left.
Scotland are up
and
here,
he'll
Alan.
go for goal with number 6, Chris Campbell, and Rutherford in. Goes to Campbell, but the ball's too far. That was a big chance for Scotland to take a lead. Campbell not quite long enough to stretch his arm out.
Yeah, here comes the ball from Rutherford, just outside the fingertips of Campbell there.
I think we'll be generous and say that was Anderson dumping the ball.
I think at this stage we'll take anything and we will be generous, Alan.
Number 8, Jared Wingate-Pearce, comes down that left line inside the last 5 minutes of this bronze medal match. South Africa, the white hats with green trim. Badenhorst out on the arc. A bit slow for the first shot. Wingate-Pearce, and they go in, they go to the centre. And Rutherford being very, very safe there. Gets Scobie back to help out. And there's a Twins substitution. Chris goes out and Darren comes in. His brother Alistair here with the ball and under pressure. Looks for an outlet and he finds Rutherford. Rutherford really needs to get out of that position. And that slack pass cost Scotland an exclusion as Anderson's excluded. And with that, the South African coach Paul Martin calls his timeout in the 4th period with 4:20 remaining.
Yeah, there's such small margins. It was a poor pass and it put Keith Anderson under pressure there. He tried his best to reclaim the ball, and the referee felt that was enough for an exclusion. I think it was maybe quite hard done by there.
Yeah, well, I think it was good South African pressure that brought it about. Campbell was put under pressure, then Rutherford, as an in-play substitution was going on. So South Africa, 4:20, they've used their timeout in this period. Scotland still with a timeout to take. and I'm sure there will be ample opportunity for that to happen. As the referee Massimo Angeleri from Malta gets ready to get things underway. Timeout's over. Ball's into Franco Conversano, and South Africa with the 6-on-5. The big shooters out on the top, Molyneux and Baker. 11 and 10. South Africa go to the right, looking for space on the left. Molyneux, Baker, they go close on a save there. The shot from Hawk, and Dumveski rises to head it over the bar. Anything will do to keep the clean sheets.
We're running out of superlatives for Dumveski. Seeing this replays, point blank range. He doesn't duck his head. For all the young goalies watching, that's such a brave thing to do. He might have taken one in the face there, but he's willing to do that for Scotland.
From the resulting 2 metres, South Africa shot over. It was a tired looking shot, and Alistair Campbell doing the work here. Doing the work. We're inside the last 10 off the attack. 3:30 remaining. Scotland just not wishing to lose the ball like that, as Grundy did. That's disappointing for Scotland, but Lud Rabi, the big shooter, he comes forward. Both teams, game slowed up a little bit. Both teams not wishing to give anything away. Chris Baker, the ball goes to centre forward, and it was a good ball in. And Darren Campbell's out for 20. South Africa with the extra man. What play will they go with here? They've set on a 3-3. They have movement here on this left-hand side. Molyneux goes for the post, and it's got a bit scrappy. It's got a bit. The ball comes out to Wingate Pearce. Back to the wing to the left-hander, and that's a fabulous block from Nielsen Rutherford. The shot from Nicholas Hawk. I'm not sure there really was a gap. Ed Grundy comes to the corner. Keith Anderson will come in. Scotland look for an outlet.
These underwater shots give you a good idea. The players are playing in 2 metres deep, all deep water.
Scotland in possession, only 8 left on the attack. Andrew Woodall, we may get a shot off this. That's a lovely shot, and Conversano makes a lovely save. He tips on to the bar. That could be critical with 2 minutes remaining in this bronze medal match. Scotland, South Africa. Scobie comes back and picks it. And Dumveski with the ball. This Aberdeen Sports Village, the atmosphere is electric inside this arena. Electric, both countries being cheered on by their teams. Anderson with the ball. 1:47 remaining. Then to Scobie, to Andrew Woodall. They're all looking for the foul. The referees won't give much at this point in the game. But the 30-second was up, and there is a turnover. South Africa have the advantage. Conversano sends them on their way to number 8, Wingate Pearce. And South Africa have the advantage on the right if they can move the ball quick enough. Badenhorst with the shot. Alistair Campbell comes across. Badenhorst rifles one, and Dumveski turns it round and pumps his fist at Badenhorst.
Yeah, it's the business end of the match now. We thought we'd go right down to the wire, and it certainly is. What a fantastic game of water polo. And fortune seems to be favouring Scotland. They get the ball back, and coach Rhys Tamlin calls his timeout. We've only got 1 minute and 11 seconds to go, Alan. Can they hang on?
Well, that's been calm play from the Scottish coaching staff. You see them there. Raymond Valvona doing the pointing, and Rhys Tamlin, the head coach, beside them, as we see the shot coming in there off the back of Dumveski's head. So Ian, with 1 minute 11 of this bronze medal match remaining, Scotland will have possession. What do you think the coaches will be telling them to do?
Well, they certainly won't be looking to turn the ball over, and when they do lose possession, they want to know when they're going to lose it. So don't be surprised if we see them dump the ball. The last thing they want to do is get caught in a counter-attack at this side. They just need one more big defence. Obviously, ideally, if they get a good shot away.
Probably looking for a shot to get a corner. I'm sure South Africa will press very heavily here, as they did at the start of the fourth period in the round-robin game. Look to steal the ball, and we can see already Scotland do have to go forward. And their go-to man, Keith Anderson. But they need to keep driving, and they'll use that move again. Campbell will look for Anderson, and he finds him, and he will go. And he wins a minor foul, but it goes to Rutherford, and that's a flip on as we're inside the last minute of this bronze medal match. The atmosphere electric here. Aberdeen Sports Village, Commonwealth Water Polo Championships 2014. Conversano looks for an outlet. South Africa are all up the pool. Scobie goes out to Chris Baker. The clock ticks down, 10 on the clock. The shot from Baker is blocked. So Scotland will have the ball with 32 seconds remaining. They have to go forward. The referees will make sure they go forward. South Africa have to go and press. And now Woodall.
Scotland could be on the brink here, Alan.
It goes to James Scobie. Scobie looking for the foul, and he wins it.
Scotland just need to hang on. We've only got 15 seconds left. South Africa pressing hard to get the ball back.
And they win on exclusion. That could well be it. Number 10 for South Africa. Chris Baker is excluded. The clock counts down. This is the biggest victory in Scottish history. And with that,
yeah, he's calling a timeout. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't have the ball. He's not allowed to do that. He's trying to force a penalty.
Yep. So Scotland have the chance here to actually take a penalty or to take the ball.
You've got to take the ball here, Alan.
So let's just explain here what actually happened there. Scotland won the man out. Number 10, Chris Baker, was excluded. So Scotland had possession.
Yeah, the game's going to run out there with Scotland victorious. So the South African coach, he's being clever. He's tried to take a timeout knowing that it would result in a penalty or a Scotland ball. But Scotland are too clever for that. With 3 seconds to go. Scotland are there, Alan.
Andrew Woodall rifles it goalward, and Scotland have won the bronze medal at the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships here in the Aberdeen Sports Village. Ian, what does that mean for Scottish water polo?
Oh, it's a historic moment, and all credit to these boys. It's been an amazing effort this week. They came oh so close to South Africa in the round-robin game, but they weren't to be denied tonight. There's 13 heroes there. Incredible game, packed crowd here at Aberdeen Sports Village. What a day to be supporting Scottish water polo.
And what a fantastic game of water polo, played in tremendous spirits. Both teams battling so hard against each other, but nothing untoward, and Scotland showed amazing composure.
Yeah, I think, Alan, you've got to give credit to South Africa as well. You know, they've come here, they've played their heart out, they played a massive part in this game. It's been a terrific game of water polo. We billed it at the start that it was going to go down to the wire, and I don't think anyone will be disappointed with that.
No, Scotland will dine out on this for many a year. As we can see, the South African side, what a performance they've put in here this week. Some great results for them, but when it came down to the business end of the competition, the outside shooting just not quite good enough today.
Yeah, 6-5, it could not have been closer, and maybe a fitting end to the careers of some of Scotland's senior players. Keith Anderson. Let's just look at how Scotland actually closed that one out, Alan. You can see the players there. It means a lot. It means a lot to the players and the coaching staff. There's Keith Anderson. He can hardly even stand. He's got to lean against this side. The guy must be shattered.
Yeah, 42 years of age. What a finale for him. We doubt you'll see another Commonwealth Water Polo Championships, but you'll certainly remember this one, as will all 13 of them. And finally, the assistant coach, Raymond Valvona, gets wet. Not surprisingly, the team happy to celebrate.
Yeah, spare a thought for South Africa. There they are, taking it well, like a team, together as a unit. I like to see that, Alan. You win as a team, you lose as a team. That's great unity they're showing there. They've been great sports, South Africa. It's been a pleasure to welcome them to Scotland and to Aberdeen. And here they are shaking hands with the Scottish team. What an advert for water polo.
Yeah, the two teams there, as with all tough sports, sport, thankfully. Coming top here is a very, very hard-fought game, and the teams go toe-to-toe for 4 periods and then shake hands and congratulate and commiserate each other. The Scotland team, I'm sure, will be coming onto the platform in front of this vast home crowd to take their credit and also to show their appreciation for the fantastic support they've seen here in Aberdeen Sports Village.
Yeah.
Now we see the winning goal.
Here's Ed Grundy for his second goal of the game. A lot of pressure on that. He didn't show it. He rose up, rifled a right-handed shot into the corner of the net, and Scotland have the Commonwealth Water Polo bronze medal. That sounds good, doesn't it, Alan?
That sounds something we probably never thought we would hear, Ian. It's just been such an exciting game and such an exciting week. So we've now got the Scottish team parading in front of the crowd.
Yeah, here's the Scotland team taking adulation of the crowd. It's been a fantastic game. Here's Ed Grundy, the winning goal scorer. Nielsen Rutherford.
And here we go, we now have the pictures of the Scottish team going along. And we'll...
Yeah, we've been attacked by the Scottish captain here at the desk, so I've got to apologise for the noise you may be hearing. Yeah, the stadium announcer, Tom Crammond, is interviewing the Scottish, an emotional captain, Nielsen Rutherford. Yeah, Nielsen Rutherford thanking the huge home crowd. He's exhausted, but he's still thanking the crowd. They've played a massive part. I don't know if you can hear that, but he's a diplomat to the last.
And we're now going to have a word with Nielsen Rutherford, the Scottish captain. So, Nielsen, words can't describe the emotion of that game.
No, not really, no, not right now.
The team just played such controlled water polo and rose to the occasion. You were in it from start to finish.
I think we learned from early in the week, and we played with our hearts, we played with spirit, you know, and we kept fighting all the way to the end.
That was so good. And what about Ed Grundy? You know, the penalty from him at the end.
Yeah, it was fabulous, and there were some good goals in there. Great to see Keith Anderson scoring a goal, and the team just played, beautifully right through that match. We know what we had to do, and we held in there, held our nerve, and we got the result.
Nielsen, congratulations to yourself and to that whole Scottish team and coaching staff. It's just the most amazing atmosphere here and the most amazing week we've had for Scottish water polo and for the Commonwealth Water Polo Championships.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after that thriller of a bronze medal match between Scotland and South Africa, Ian, closing thoughts from you.
Yeah, I'm struggling to keep it. I'm struggling to keep it all in, Alan. That's just such an amazing day. You can see how emotional Nielsen Rutherford was, the captain there. It means so much to the water polo community. We might be a small community, but I tell you what, we've risen to the occasion today. That bronze medal, I think, over the piece, thoroughly justified. The guys have really come of age this week. We've got some exciting players coming through. The Campbells played their part, but it was a whole team effort this week. It's been an amazing week to be a Scottish water polo fan.
So there we go, bronze medal match, Scotland 6, South Africa 5. Coming up next, the women's competition, a similar encounter, Scotland against South Africa. We'll be back with you in about 5 or 10 minutes for that one. Thank you.
The buzz is just unbelievable just now. It's back in my hometown in Troon, everybody's talking about it, and just hopefully I can be part of that Scotland team, and if I am, it'll be a memory I'll never forget.
Since joining Scottish Gymnastics, to compete at the Commonwealth Games, it's going to be my first Commonwealth Games, and no better place to do it than in my home country.
Commonwealth Games are really the only time you get to represent like Scotland on its own, and yeah, it's really special. It's like your own little family really when you're on the team. Go Scotland!
Do you know what? I don't think there'll be anything to beat it. You know, I competed at the London Olympics and that was really special, but Glasgow I think will just be something else. Go Scotland!
It's very important, Ken, to have the backing of the community, the country and that. I'd like folk to get behind you and enjoy what you're doing and appreciate what you do, Ken. That's what I hard work's for. Go Team Scotland!
I think it's really important that people back Team Scotland. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to come together and support the team.
There's obviously going to be a great buzz around the city, and we're really looking forward to having the spectators come out and see netball. Netball's not one of the most profile sports that we've got here, so we're really looking forward to seeing how we can really engage with the spectators and show what netball's all about. Go Scotland!
Oh, the support will be huge. If everyone turns up, it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's nothing better than playing on a badminton court with the whole crowd screaming behind you. It's a really great feeling, and I really hope to experience it.
Being from Glasgow myself, nothing more that you want to do in your career. Homegrown, in your city, all your friends, family can all come and watch. There's nothing really more you want. Go Scotland!
Being in judo, it's an individual sport, but when you're in that fight and if you're down the score, if you just need that extra lift. With Glasgow 2014 coming up and the massive Scottish team that we're going to have in Glasgow, it feels like a family. Go Scotland!
It's a huge honour and it's a pinnacle of anyone's career. I was fortunate enough to play back in Melbourne a few years ago now, where the whole experience was incredible. I'm sure that Glasgow can look to emulate that.
The atmosphere in Delhi was great, even when we're halfway across the world. So to imagine what it's going to be like in Glasgow when we're in front of a home crowd, it's going to be twice as good. Go Scotland!
This will be my first games, and it'll be a home game. So for me, it's as much as it's a cliche, it will be a dream come true. And just to have that support and to have my family and friends support me at home games, it means everything to me.
Go Scotland!